The old house on Hollow Lane stood at the edge of town, its sagging roof and peeling paint a grim reminder of forgotten years. Locals called it cursed, whispering tales of vanished tenants and strange lights flickering in its windows at midnight. Emma, a college student with a taste for the macabre, didn't believe in curses. When she found the listing for a cheap rental, she saw a bargain, not a warning. Armed with a flashlight and a duffel bag, she moved in on a chilly October evening, the wind howling like a distant scream. The house creaked as she stepped inside, the air thick with dust and the faint smell of mildew. The floorboards groaned under her weight, and the walls seemed to lean inward, as if watching her, chalking it up to the charm of old architecture. She unpacked her things in the cramped bedroom upstairs, ignoring the faint scratches etched into the doorframe marks that looked too deliberate to be random. That first night, as she lay in bed, she heard it, a soft whisper, like wind rustling through dry leaves, but it came from inside the house. She sat up, heart thudding, straining to listen. The sound seemed to slither from the walls, forming words she couldn't quite catch. "Just the pipes," she muttered, pulling the blankets tighter. But sleep didn't come easily. Over the next few days, the whispers grew clearer. At first they were faint, like a radio tune to a distant station, murmuring nonsense. By the third night, they spoke her name. "Emma," they hissed, low and guttural, as if spoken by many voices at once. She checked every corner of the house, flashlight in hand, finding nothing but cobwebs and warped furniture. She told herself it was her imagination, fueled by too many horror podcasts, but the unease gnawed at her. On the fifth night, she found the door in the basement. It was hidden behind a stack of moldy crates, its surface carved with strange, spiraling symbols that seemed to writhe in the dim light. The whispers were louder here, a chorus of voices overlapping in a language she didn't understand. Against her better judgment, she pushed the door open. A narrow staircase descended into darkness, the air growing colder with each step. The whispers urged her downward, their tone almost pleading. At the bottom, she found a small room, its walls covered in more of those eerie symbols. In the center stood a cracked mirror, its surface clouded but reflective. Emma's breath caught as she saw her reflection, or what should have been her reflection. The figure in the mirror was her, but wrong. Its eyes were too large, too dark, and its smile stretched unnaturally wide. The whispers swelled, now a deafening chant, and the figure in the mirror raised a hand, beckoning. Emma stumbled back, her flashlight flickering. The whispers turned sharp, angry, and the room seemed to pulse, the walls closing in. She ran, heart pounding, up the stairs and out of the basement, slamming the door behind her. The house was silent now, but the air felt heavy, oppressive. She packed her bag, determined to leave, but when she reached the front door, it wouldn't budge. The windows wouldn't open either, their frames sealed as if welded shut. The whispers returned louder than ever, and now they came from behind her. She turned, and there it was, the figure from the mirror, standing at the top of the stairs, its head tilted at an impossible angle, its too wide smile glinting in the moonlight. "Stay," it rasped, in a voice that wasn't hers but carried her cadence. Emma screamed, bolting for the kitchen, grabbing a knife from the counter. The figure didn't move, but its shadow stretched across the floor, long and jagged, creeping closer. She barricaded herself in the bedroom, pushing the dresser against the door. The whispers were everywhere now, seeping through the walls, the floor, her skull. They told her things, horrible things about the house, about the people who'd lived here, about the shadows that fed on fear. She clutched the knife, her hands shaking as the dresser began to slide, inch by inch, pushed by something on the other side. The door burst open, and the figure stood there, no longer in the mirror but real. Its eyes black voids, its smile a gaping wound. Emma swung the knife, but it passed through the figure like smoke. The whispers became a scream, and the last thing she saw was her own face, twisted and wrong, leaning closer. The next morning, the house on Hollow Lane was quiet. The front door stood ajar, Emma's duffel bag untouched in the bedroom. The townsfolk noticed the lights flickering again that night, and the whispers, if you stood close enough, spoke a new name. But no one dared to listen.